was born, Mom and Dad had a small shack without running water out kind of in the rural parts of Duluth. We lived there for a year. Lived in the upper floor of a church in Lincoln Park for my second year in life, and then from that point forward lived in the Hillside. And I guess there was one other year when I was in college that lived in kind of lower Duluth Heights. But other than that, it's been Hillside living. So here we are in Leif Erikson Park, and when I was in my 20s, I lived just 2 blocks up on 1st Street in the Chester Terrace apartments, and it was a great place for a bachelor to live because there were so many conveniences in the neighborhood. You had Mr. Movies, 99-cent movie rentals, Walgreens open 24/7 to get frozen pizza and Hot Pockets, and then in the book I write about how I would come down to the park and sit on a bench and kind of overlook the lake and watch the ship traffic, and that was where I came to do my flossing. So I call it my flossing bench, and this actually isn't the flossing bench, but there's a gentleman sitting in the flossing bench right now, so we weren't able to recreate that experience, but you know, it was a great place, great neighborhood to grow up in, and you know, this park is really a special place because it is such a beautiful space and kind of right in the heart of the city. You know, for those outside of Duluth, they don't really understand the context of the title, but the book is really a celebration of this community, and for those that live in Duluth, and especially those that I grew up with, and the importance of the Hillside neighborhood. So that was as much an ode to this neighborhood that has been a big part of my life as anything. So yeah, I was very pleased that, you know, at first we were going to call the book, "Well, That's Different," but people didn't get that joke, and then I came to the idea of Hillsider, which, you know, is a label that those of us who grew up in the Hillside in particular, we wear that label proudly. So yeah, this is the home that we grew up in, me and my 3 younger brothers, here on 9th Street, and still in the family. And in the book I tell a story about coming home from Grant Elementary as a 2nd grader and bounding up these stairs and going inside. And my dad was a pastor of a small church, and oftentimes there would be, you know, they'd be counseling a church member in the living room, and when we saw that, we were told to either turn around, go back outside, or hustle up into our bedroom. But this one really struck me and kind of caught me flat and just kind of froze. There was a pillar of our church community who had just lost his job, and he was breaking down crying in the living room, and my parents were praying with him and consoling him, but he was really worried about how he was going to support his family, whether or not he was going to be able to keep his home. And of course, this was in the early 1980s, and we had a very young church, and so that type of story was all too common. Duluth was really struggling at that point. And you know, the importance of that story to me, it kind of showed the value and importance of what my parents were doing, their investment in these people through their most difficult times, and also the connection of how, you know, the health of our community, the health of our local economy translates very directly into the life experience of our residents, and it really does come down to each individual's and each family's experience in our community. So looking back over my childhood, I think that was really the moment. It was a seed was planted about the importance of giving back to the community, the importance of kind of service to those in need. And I think that was probably the foundation of my interest in public service and in serving in city government.